Hello, my name is Philippa Fleming. I'm the current coordinator for Luton and Bedfordshire Green Party, and I wanted to try and get our website a little bit more disability friendly. So I'm going to be reading some of our website posts and news reports to you. So this first one is a Green Party response to the Council's consultation on its corporate plan, which was posted on the 10th of December 2021. We have pictured Lucy Bywater, who is standing behind Ben Foley, both councillors in Castle Ward, Bedford. Lucy is standing behind Ben, is wearing a black face mask and a Green Party badge, holding a clipboard. And Ben is in the foreground wearing a black hat and a Green Party face mask. I think they might be somewhere around Greyfriars or maybe nearer to the train station in Bedford town centre. Here's Bedford Borough's draft corporate plan itself, which there was a public consultation on. The web address is https://bbc-webfiles.blob.core.windows.net/webfiles/your with a capital Y, %, 20, the word council with a capital C, a /, the word consultations with a capital C, a /, the word corporate with a capital C, a %, the numbers 20, the word plan with a capital P, a %, the numbers 20, a dash or a hyphen, a %, the numbers 20, the word consultation with a capital C, a %, the numbers 20, the word draft with a capital D, dot or a full stop, and the letters PDF. Phonetically, that is H for hotel, T for tango, T for tango, P for papa, S for Sierra, a :, // B for Bravo, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, D for Delta, E for Echo, V for Victor, W for Whiskey, E for Echo, B for Bravo, F for Foxtrot, I for Indigo, L for Lima, E for Echo, S for Sierra, a dot or a full stop, B for Bravo, L for Lima, O for Oscar, B for Bravo, a dot or a full stop, C for Charlie, O for Oscar, R for Romeo, E for Echo, a dot or a full stop, W for Whiskey, I for Indigo, N for November, D for Delta, O for Oscar, W for Whiskey, S for Sierra, a dot or a full stop, N for November, E for Echo, T for Tango, a /, a W for Whiskey, E for Echo, B for Bravo, F for Foxtrot, I for Indigo, L for Lima, E for Echo, and S for Sierra, a /, a capital Y for Yankee, a lowercase O for Oscar, U for Uniform, R for Romeo, a %, the numbers 20, a capital C for Charlie, lowercase O for Oscar, U for Uniform, N for November, C for Charlie, and I for Indigo, L for Lima, a /, a capital C for Charlie, lowercase O for Oscar, N for November, S for Sierra, U for Uniform, L for Lima, T for Tango, A for Alpha, T for Tango, I for Indigo, O for Oscar, N for November, S for Sierra, a /, a capital C for Charlie, lowercase O for Oscar, R for Romeo, P for Papa, O for Oscar, R for Romeo, A for Alpha, T for Tango, and E for Echo, a %, the numbers 20, a capital P for Papa, lowercase L for Lima, A for Alpha, N for November, a %, the numbers 20, a dash or hyphen, a %, the numbers 20, a capital C for Charlie, lowercase o for Oscar, N for November, S for Sierra, U for Uniform, L for Lima, A for Alpha, T for Tango, A for Alpha, T for Tango, I for Indigo, O for Oscar, and N for November. A percentage sign, a 2 and a 0. A capital D for Delta, lowercase r for Romeo, A for Alpha, F for Foxtrot, and a T for Tango, a dot or a full stop, and the letters PDF, that's Papa Delta Foxtrot. And our Green Party submitted response is here. Vision. The proposed vision is: we want Bedford Borough to thrive as a place, a location that people are proud of, want to live in and move to. To do this, we need a growing and strong local economy and an active response to climate change. From this foundation, our residents will be able to thrive and realise their potential, supporting and celebrating our diverse and inclusive communities. However, this contradicts itself. On current methods of measuring economic growth, a growing local economy means a local economy that produces climate-destroying and ecology-destroying effects at an ever-increasing pace. There is no sign in the document that there is any consideration that conventional methods of measuring economic activity and the growth of that activity is problematic. Without such critique of conventional ways of measuring economic growth, a growing local economy cannot be a vision for a council that truly accepts there is a climate emergency. The council must instead work to create a vibrant and sustainable ecosystem that delivers a strong economy. When we get on to draft goals and strategic priorities, enhanced places talks of our transport links should benefit the environment and the local economy to support more and better jobs for local residents. By contrast, we should be looking for more and better jobs without the need to travel so far, and economic activity should be targeted as being green jobs. Transport links are not a route to better lifestyles. They are a route to longer time spent commuting greater distances. Rather, enhanced places should be talking about enhancing green spaces, including nature restoration and rewilding where possible. Places should be enhanced by ceasing routine use of chemical herbicides and pesticides, improving environmental and human health. In urban areas, there should be further action to green the grey, increasing sustainable planting. There needs to be a serious ambition to increase suitable, safe infrastructure for walking and cycling, as well as improved affordable public transport to get the crucial modal shift away from car dependency. This should be part of a strategy to reduce overall travel demand. 15-minute cities. Existing communities' well-being must be the goal, rather than attracting growth. The Oxcam arc looks like it is proposing 1 million new houses, concreting over the green, and most likely the plans will assume the vast majority of residents of those houses will use private motor transport. Such plans are utterly incompatible with a strategic priority to enhance places. All new estates must be built to the highest environmental standards and have public transport links before residents move in. Enable prosperity. This again talks of focusing on growth for its own sake. Rather, the council should focus on increasing and improving the well-being of existing population, rather than attracting growth. And there must be steps to measure well-being. The council should champion and support in particular local SMEs, cooperatives, community interest companies, and social enterprises. The council should encourage and support sustainable development through local planning policies. The council should engage local people in understanding what they need in town centres. This should involve community groups, charities, and cultural groups. The council should proactively support new green jobs and skills for future-proofing local economy. The Council should establish a circular economy framework for genuine sustainability. The Council should adopt the UN Sustainable Development Goals, supporting people. Rather than just reduce the risk for vulnerable people, the Council should help to increase the well-being of vulnerable people. Efficiencies should not be sought when in reality they are putting those on the margins of needing support at a real disadvantage, and that many may slip through the cracks with worse outcomes. There are life expectancy inequalities and health inequalities in Bedford. There should be action to reduce these inequalities, particularly with attention on improving private rented housing, as well as social housing, and with more general targets for warm homes. Empower communities. The best way to empower communities at scale and with depth is to introduce more participatory democracy, allowing residents to form panels and assemblies to directly input into council decision-making. Bold leadership is needed, with leading by example on the climate crisis. The council should be enabling or facilitating the community to minimize its carbon footprint and adapt to changing climate, rather than pursuing economic growth that militates against even the most dedicated members of the community doing that effectively. There's a section for comments on 3 cross-cutting themes. It should be noted that having something present as a cross-cutting theme is no substitute for having adequate specific goals directly related to it. Consideration of cross-cutting themes will consistently set squeezed out by targets for council departments that can more easily be met by ignoring the cross-cutting themes. There is a severe danger that cross-cutting themes become lip service to action on these important matters, while the real drivers of council performance pull hard against them. Other comments. A green recovery plan needs to be central to the corporate plan. Communities enhance places. There is a contradiction between the final 2 sentences of the introductory text as the authors envision them. Our transport links should benefit the environment and the local economy to support more and better jobs for local residents. And our ambitions to tackle the climate emergency are central to all of our goals. Increasing transport links to support more and better jobs will increase pressure on local residents to commute longer distances in ways that is incredibly difficult to reconcile with the climate goals. Transport links that will make life better for local residents and tackle the climate emergency are local links for public transport, walking and cycling. Enable prosperity. The vision offered here is one of unquestioned growth of the rate of production and disposal of goods and services, with ever increasing rates of production and disposal of the unwanted byproducts of them, accelerating the ecological and climate crisis. Equality objectives. The second objective, to become an anti-racist council and develop an anti-racism strategy, is massively welcome. However, it needs to be matched with meaningful action, not the sort of lip service that declaring a climate emergency has received thus far. Council needs to shift to language of equity rather than equality. Corporate plan goals and priorities. Summary. On reading these, you would never know the council has declared that we are in an emergency situation. EP2 is in practice promoting climate destruction. 5 out of 8 measures are about unsustainable private motor vehicle transport. Of the remaining 3, the best talk of cycle paths, which implies safe segregation from traffic, which would be a massive improvement on the unsafe cycle lanes that currently dominate, where there is provision for cyclists in Bedford. The measure of proportion of buses meeting punctuality targets says nothing about the number of bus routes, their fuel source, or frequency on these routes, or the ability to use them to actually make journeys, e.g. travel to or from work or shops. The rational claim, we want to, but the components of the measures suggest that those will remain entirely unfulfilled desires. EP3. In reality, the local environment is impacted by what others do to the climate and largely unconnected from our own climate efforts. The headline, Enrich Our Local Environment, does not capture the worthwhile measures of carbon reduction and of biodiversity, air pollution, green travel. The true place of consideration of climate change in the Council's corporate plan can be seen by the way carbon reduction is one of 7 measures under EP3, which is itself one of 12 corporate plan goals and priorities. This suggests about 1% of the Council's consideration, while measures that work against the climate are much higher proportion of the Council's consideration. Cycling and other modes of green transport should not be within EP3, but rather should be in EP2. The claim by the Council that tackling the climate emergency only needs the Council to encourage responsible behaviour in terms of how people travel. How people manage their refuse is woefully short of the sorts of measures needed to tackle the climate emergency. What about influencing and facilitating better patterns of consumption by local people and businesses? What about influencing the nature of businesses and facilitating sustainable practices? What about shifting to ways of promoting welfare that don't rely on consumption? EY1 is fundamentally hostile to climate action, so long as growth is conventionally defined. If what is being measured is described, attempts to promote the priority should be moderated for businesses hostile to the Council's climate goals and hostile to equality. The Council should not allow progress under strategic priority measures to come at the expense of losses in its cross-cutting themes. Housing growth should not be a key measure in a country that has more bedrooms per head of population than ever before. What is important is housing distribution. On the rationale caveats, it should have been recognized that growth as conventionally defined is fundamentally in tension with sustainability. A rationale expressed in these terms suggests that questions of sustainability will be ignored. EY2, again, has what is being measured as business growth. While a small matter by comparison, multi-storey car park customer satisfaction is yet another performance measure around private motor transport. The aim should be sustainability rather than productivity and economic performance, so long as productivity and economic activity are conventionally measured. EY3 should, instead of its current targets, have emphasis on green jobs, skills, and local well-being. It concentrates in one of its measures on adults with learning, mental health disabilities in paid employment. While this is worthwhile, why just learning mental health? What of physical disabilities and neurodivergence? There are massive inequalities there too. The text for the rationale is even more obviously incomplete than the hidden incompleteness evident elsewhere. It should talk of stability and sustainability rather than growth. SP3, the right housing mix, could be massively beneficial or harmful in terms of the climate and ecological emergency, depending how right is defined. So long as right does not include the very substantial explicit consideration of climate considerations, and there is no sign that it will be intensely harmful. In addition, the right housing mix means action to reduce wasteful accesses to provide decent homes for all, including those at the bottom of the heap who are currently denied access by the market. Having housing growth as a component of the composite measure is not appropriate. As with EY1, in a country that has more bedrooms per head of population than ever before, what is important is housing distribution. EC2 should be pro-climate action, but in practice is unlikely to be, since nothing about the measures gives the remotest hint that it will be pro-climate action. On the particular component of channel shift, it should be recognized that support for those who are unable or unwilling to shift is vital. In conclusion, all told, this is not the corporate plan of a council that takes its declaration of a climate emergency seriously. It is a corporate plan of business as usual, when business as has been usual has created the emergency and will make it worse.